What if I told you Aion 2 isn't really Aion? And what if I also told you that that's not really a bad thing? I asked both the Aion Reddit community, as well as my own, what Aion 2 needs to get right, where it should evolve, and why it's okay that it isn't copying everything from its predecessor. Here are the top 5 things NCSoft must absolutely nail if they want Aion 2 to be a global success. Let's dive in. Good day, my name's Aion, and I've been part of the Aion community since pretty much the very beginning, and I've watched the game evolve and sometimes even devolve. Aion 2 has an actual shot at doing things differently and being a global success, but only if it learns from its past mistakes. Not just for old-timers like me, but also for players who don't know what a dredgen is and probably never will. And if there is one thing we know, NCSoft always learns from their mistake. Aion 2 doesn't need to copy Aion 1. It needs to evolve from it. The game should build on the faction tensions that drove engaging player interactions, the iconic PvPV content it was known for, the epic large-scale sieges, and the constant sense of danger outside of save zones. But strip out the annoying bits, endless grind, bloated gear systems, abysmally low RNG. Considering that Aion 2 is built in Unreal Engine 5 gives me hope that it will run better than its predecessor that was originally developed in CryEngine, an engine that was meant for first-person shooters, not for MMOs. That made the original game run like whenever there were more than 10 people on your screen. Optimizing the player's experience really should be one of NCSoft's top priorities. And yeah, now I get it, mobile support means NCSoft is trying to tap into a wider market. That's not necessarily a bad thing as long as it doesn't punish the player. The game still needs depth. Just because it's available on mobile doesn't mean it should be simplified to the point of being brain dead. They've said Aion 2 was designed for PC first, and that's great and all, but it should feel that way. I recently played Crystal of Atlan, also a game for PC and mobile, and the combo there honestly kind of blew me away. Dodging matters, animations are clean, and you can make some pretty sick combos. You have base attacks, chain attacks which you build yourself, dodge, and ultimate skills. This game proves you don't need 60 skills on your hotbar to make combat feel good or even interesting. If Aion 2 can match that vibe or even better improve on it, especially in PvP, if we get any, that alone will hook people in. Try to keep the soul of Aion intact. Skill trees, class identity, situational PvP, meaningful gear. I mean, at the end of the day, the combat will play an important part in defining the game's success. Because no matter how much content an MMO offers, if the combat feels slow or clunky, most players won't stick around long enough to enjoy it. Another important factor that determines the success of an MMO is, you've guessed it, the content. The sole reason players log in. MMOs are designed to be time sinks, encouraging players to play more and spend more. Lately though, many MMOs feel more like storefronts disguised as games. Actual content often feels like an afterthought built around monetization, not fun. You know what I mean. Premium auction houses, energy systems, multiple battle passes, low drop rates, and basic resources intentionally made rare to slow you down. Yeah, I get it. It's a Korean MMO, so grind is expected, and honestly, I don't really mind it. I kind of enjoy it. But please make it fun and rewarding. Don't make me grind mobs or deal with frustrating bosses for hours just to walk empty-handed and question why I'm even playing. There needs to be a balance. Side activities and achievements that offer meaningful rewards are an absolute must. Players should have a choice in how they progress, not be locked in repetitive dailies and mind-numbing dungeon spam. The way NCSoft monetized the original Aion pretty much ruined it. Initially the game was subscription-based and that was fine, but a few years later after its release it went free-to-play and that's when things went to shit. The whole game became a massive gacha. Skills, gear, transformations, collections, all kinds of unnecessary trinkets that were only added to squeeze as much money from the players as possible. Sadly, this remains true for most, if not all, Korean MMOs. The question isn't if there will be pay to win. The actual question is, how much will the players be able to tolerate? Aion 2 claims to be different when it comes to pay to win and promises to let go of its predatory past.
Are you serious?
Early rumors suggest that Aion 2 may adopt a monetization model similar to that of Throne and Liberty, which means free-to-play with a premium auction house. Again, these are just rumors, it's not an official info, so take it with a grain of salt, okay? If this is true, here's some pros and cons. The pros, well, a free-to-play model means a larger initial player base. The premium auction house allows players to earn premium currency in-game, avoiding the need to spend real money for shop items. The list of cons, however, is kinda longer. A premium auction house automatically simply means pay to win. The question of how pay to win it is going to be is defined by what you can buy from the market. Another major issue is that as the patch gets older, premium currency becomes harder to farm, like we've seen in Throne and Liberty. When the demand drops and the supply increases, the market crashes, which makes saving for rarer items much harder. Also, free-to-play games give devs more incentive to add pay to win, whether through events or new game systems. I mean, at the end of the day, money is king. Personally, I'd prefer a buy-to-play or even a subscription-based model rather than the game to be free-to-play. But for now, we'll have to wait for NCSoft to officially reveal what the monetization strategy behind Aion 2 is actually going to be. But whatever happens, please, for the love of Aion, do not add energy systems. Please, I beg you. Please, let casuals enjoy the game, man, but also give hardcore players a reason to stay. Please, don't punish the players for wanting to enjoy your game. One of the best things about Aion was its community. The passion rivaled that of WoW and Final Fantasy players. It felt like people truly cared about the world of Atrea, and it made the world feel alive. In contrast, many recent MMO launches feel like glorified lobby games with little sense of community. Their competitive focus often brings out the worst in people and turns co-op content into a toxic cesspool. That's why I appreciate NCSoft's vision for Aion 2, which prioritizes teamwork over pure competition. Now, that's not to say competition shouldn't exist. It should. Competitive elements drive player-generated content, which keeps MMOs alive during content droughts. I've played Tron Liberty for around 6 months, and the toxicity I encountered in co-op dungeons and trials was on par with League of Legends lobbies. And it wasn't always the player's fault. A big part of the problem was the dungeon design. They felt like chores. People would simply rush through them, and if someone wasn't efficient enough, they would get kicked out, locked out of boss rooms, or even outright harassed.
How do you like that?
The lack of proper moderation made the experience even worse. Sure, you can just grow a pair and ignore it, but let's be real. Games are supposed to be fun, not a place where you should tolerate someone with the emotional intelligence of a prune. That's why fostering a great sense of community should be a top priority for any company making a long-term MMO, not just another cash grab. And if you're going to have terms of service, enforce them. Like many NCSoft games, Aion struggled with cheaters, botters, exploiters, black market traders, and the issue was never meaningfully addressed. It created the impression that people could get away with anything. It discouraged fair play. We saw this in other titles as well. In Blade and Soul, the arena scene died because of it. In Throne and Liberty, failing to act against scripters and cheaters led to the collapse of the trials content and competitive PvP. Though poor class balance also played a role there too. So if you're going to have terms of service, which you will, please NCSoft enforce them, okay? Show your players that you care about them just as much as you care about your own profits. Here's something a lot of veterans won't want to hear. Aion 2 might simply not be for us. Not entirely, at least. Aion was known for its combat and PvP, but there are still a lot of unknowns about how those will look in Aion 2. It looks like Aion 2 is NCSoft's attempt to bring the IP to a wider, more modern audience. And that's perfectly fine, as long as they respect the legacy while building something fresh. They can bring in new players without alienating the ones who put the franchise on the map. Have to admit, it was kinda great to see some of the original voice lines still used, and that many familiar characters are back with a fresh look because of Unreal Engine 5. But whatever your vision is, NCSoft, please stick to it. Don't change it midway. Trying to please everyone will end up the same way they did in Throne and Liberty, by pissing off both PvP and PvE players. Like many of you, I am cautiously optimistic about Aion 2. It's not going to be a copy-paste of the original, and thank for that. And as long as it learns from Aion's past mistakes, keeps combat fluid, and delivers meaningful PvPv content, the game might just pull it off. Let me know in the comments what you think Aion 2 needs to do in order to succeed globally. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. It helps both my channel and my fragile ego grow. Till next time.